Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel and to today's video all about what is it like to study for your Advanced Taxation ACCA exam. I'm delighted to be joined by Shayla today, who has done the Advanced Taxation module along with myself, but I've stolen her introduction. Shayla, feel free to introduce yourself to the viewers.
My name is Shayla Andrade, and I've got 2 boys and a husband. And I met James one day when I was looking for some help, I would say. So I started searching some resources, to be honest, all the type of resources that I could get at the time. Kind of in a panicking situation, nearly. And yeah, I saw a few videos from James, and I contacted James, and we had some good sessions.
And here we are today.
Yes.
Well, we'll be talking about how hard the Advanced Taxation exam is, but I'm delighted to say on record, in fact, Shayla, introduce on record your experience with the Advanced Taxation exam.
Well, advanced taxation. At first, you can see it's an overwhelming module because of the size of the book, of the material. It's not a paper that you should underestimate. Basically, I think in any advanced papers in ACCA, it's not really a paper that you should underestimate, because I know people has knowledge coming from knowledge from the past, if they have done the tax paper in the past, but is a step forward. So it's leaving the technical, is nailing the technical part and going to the analytical and judgmental part of it. So I do believe that liking it, enjoying doing it, makes a huge difference. So if you don't like tax, you're gonna find it harder.
Yeah, completely agree. And also, just to add to that as well, Shayla, it's a case of the jump from taxation to advanced taxation. Yeah. How would you describe that jump?
You know, it's just really having that mindset of you know, analyzing, thinking about your customer, you have to step back and say, well, now I'm a consultant and I'm giving advice. So I'm actually an advisor position, trying to give some advice, real world advice. So it's not just reading the technical things and calculating, and you need to actually engage with the scenario and give your best, best advice to save tax. Basically, that's
completely agree with you. And you touched on it there. Picturing, are we dealing with an individual or a company, and what technical knowledge and also the technical articles that ACCA put online. But from my experience of doing advanced taxation, and I did fail it first time, pass the second time, the jump up from the regular tax paper for me was massive. And you'll see this when you actually get your core tax on there as well. But we did touch on about working in tax. Did you work in tax when you were doing the advanced taxation paper?
No, I never worked in tax before.
Right.
Actually, my background is more analytical, like as performance advisor, and my recently role is as a accountant, really, like assistant accountant. So I've not been involved in tax really, but when I did my tax paper was actually not through ACCA. So I was in university and I had an exemption, which is something that I would like to mention, because when you get exemptions, you kind of I would say less well prepared, because I think that I would say that exams in university can be a bit easier or structured in a different way, that you feel like you are well prepared. So you get your exemption, tax, but I think people that actually do the paper through ACCA, the tax paper, are more well prepared because they know the tricks, you know, on how to attempt certain questions.
Yeah,
So that
different
is an
formats as
advantage.
well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Well, for the record on here, when I did the advanced taxation paper, I was actually working in tax as well, so I could actually see it on a day-to-day basis. But from your perspective, Shayla, you actually didn't work in tax. So why did you pick the advanced taxation paper if you weren't working in tax? What was your sort of mindset and thought process behind it?
Again, starting from the fact that I really enjoyed doing tax when I was in university. I think it's something that in general I like. I like numbers. I like, the idea behind, um applying numbers with some advice as well. So I know that all the papers from ACCA works on around that nature, but I would say that tax is something that I really enjoy. So I think enjoying doing something is actually a step forward.
Yeah.
Because if I even thought about doing the P4, which I'm not sure what's called now, which is
Advanced
more.
financial management on that one.
Yeah, so I thought about doing, but it's not something that I really enjoy that much. So I definitely decided for tax because it's something that I feel more comfortable. And even though the syllabus was huge,
to bear in mind,
a bit scary.
Yeah.
I thought it would still be doable. So
I agree with you, and also when we're now going to be doing CPD, or I've already done a few years of CPD, I look back and I think to myself when I go to these sort of webinars, and I go, imagine if I hadn't have done the advanced taxation module, I would be completely lost right now in all these different areas. And I'll get it on record and saying it was the trickiest exam that I've ever done, the advanced taxation paper, but the most rewarding and the most applicable to life, that has helped me out so much. So if that's something that could help anyone watching on top of it, would you agree with that, Shayla? Does it help you in your day-to-day life?
Definitely. I think people that does tax, it just they seem to be so passionate, and they really tend to have this enjoyable, mindset. And I met so many amazing people during this journey that just made me feel like I was in good hands and I was actually in the right path. And I don't regret, which is, I think there's more to come about tax. I'm not working in the tax department or any. I don't get much involved with tax, just a little bit, but I still believe that there's still more to come.
Yeah.
So
Hey, that's all right. But we talked about at the start of the video what's it actually like to study advanced taxation. And it's just, this video is to say the expectation of the level of detail that you have to go into and the broad area of subjects that you have to know about: income tax, corporation tax, inheritance tax, all these variety of different areas, applying it to the scenario and being, would you agree, very specific in your responses because it's such a time-pressured exam.
Yeah, I think with tax you cannot afford wasting time. Basically, you just have to know it and almost like be sure what you're gonna say next. You don't have really much time to think. You need to almost like as if you have seen the question before, and you didn't, because all of the questions are different. So don't be careful, because they can be similar. They can have similar aspects, but they're all very, very different in its nature. And that's where they trick you, because you think, oh, because I know this technical part and I know this, I've done several past papers. These several past papers are there to help you get the grasp of it, and open your mind really, and ensure that you know that your technical part, but you need to use your judgmental attitude basically within a different scenario, because in real life it's like that. You're gonna have different clients coming with completely different scenarios, and you're going to have to apply to that specific scenario.
Definitely. And I mean, if you're watching this and you're going to be doing the advanced taxation paper and you've not done tax in a long time, I would definitely recommend you focus in on the actual core tax that you've got and make sure it's for the correct exam as well, because remember, the rates and allowances change every year. So just to get it on record for the video, that June for the UK tax paper is the first exam with the new rates, new allowances, new rules on there. So make sure you're not using any older tax, because you'll have the wrong rates on there, the wrong allowances. But then the more past papers you do, and if you go and have a look at some of the older past papers, use them. They will be using different allowances, different rates back there, but they are to the correct standard. And I would make sure you do as many as possible. I mean, would you agree with that, Shayla, from your experience?
100%. So for me, the way that worked, so because I failed tax before, and the only way I noticed that I could actually pass was actually not underestimate it, because what was happening with me, I was watching some videos that was like seeing someone answering the questions. I would not say it was, I won't say the name of the provider, because but until I decided to actually do the questions, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure I can do this. So I spent a lot of time reading answers without doing them.
Right, I see. Rather than actually sitting down time doing it yourself.
So only when I actually have done a step back and went back to the textbook, understand the technical part deeply, and then sitting down and writing, it's tiring, it's frustrating, it's like
we've been there,
feel
we've both been there.
it is not easy, but you have to make an effort to go through all that, because that's the only way, to be honest, to pass tax.
Wow.
That's my experience.
Absolutely spot on tips right there, I can tell you now. And I'd also add to that the expectation of there are going to be things on the exam that maybe you've never seen before or you've not covered, but that's what you just got to say, right, James, Shayla, we've got to have our professional judgment here, using my tax nous, and then actually just saying to yourself, right, if this was a professional situation, how would I go about it? And if you get into that right mindset, you won't be spooked by some of the questions, and you might not start panicking in the exam. But have you got any final sort of words or wisdom, Shayla, that you just couldn't live without saying for this particular recording today? What final bits of advice would you give to any advanced taxation students out there?
I think the first thing is believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you are already a few steps behind. Nobody's going to believe in yourself if you don't do first. So believe in yourself. You have got here in front of you a real good scenario of resilience, I would say, because I registered with ACCA 10 years ago, and I passed my last exam within 10 years. So my last exam was after 10 years. Of course, that was not because I've been reading papers for 10 years, but so many things happen in life that I had to, basically start, family related things, getting married. And this is the scenario for many people. But I never stopped believing myself. I always thought like I can do it, I can do this regardless. So I just believe in yourself, get the right resource, get the right help. If you can get someone that can guide you, someone that can actually revise with you, if you have like a study buddy, is actually very helpful if the person has the same commitment as you do. So from my experience, just engage. Let's engage with tax, and I'm sure you'll make it. Yeah.
Well, absolute superstar. I mean, thank you so much for all the tips today. And Guys, if you've got any questions you'd like to ask myself or Shayla, leave us a comment at the bottom. We're more than happy to help. And as well, make sure you give the video a massive like and thumbs up. Feel free to share it with any other ACCA students, because you know from watching this video to this point, there's so many good nuggets of information that could be the difference, as Shayla and I both know, of going from that 40 area to getting that 50 plus, and then taking down that number off your wall with the previous fail mark. Isn't that right, Shayla? So,
Yeah, going from a 46 to a 67,
oh,
it's doable, you know. I
uh,
couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the mark, but the hard work pays off.
absolutely fantastic. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video today, guys. Make sure you subscribe so you get access to all the free videos. But as always, on that bombshell, I'll see you next time. Cheers.